Heyo, what's poppin' gamers? So, I saw the new Batman movie recently, titled The Batman, and I gotta say, this is probably one of my most hyped movies of the year. I was really looking forward to it. This one's directed by Matt Reeves, who's known for doing some of the Planet of the Apes movies. And yeah, basically, it's a movie about Batman. It's a brand new iteration, and he's in his second year of crime fighting. But there's a serial killer known as the Riddler who's been causing a lot of trouble. He's been leaving clues at his crime scenes. So basically, Batman is just trying to piece everything together before, stuff really gets out of control. I'll just say right out of the gate, I thought this movie was like pretty fantastic all around. Definitely one of the best versions of Batman I've seen in like any live action movie. I guess I'll just go through some of the characters and share my thoughts with those. Starting with Robert Pattinson. Most people probably know him from Twilight, but I think he's really proven himself to be a great actor with movies like, The Lighthouse and Good Time. All of those are just really excellent, and he does a great job acting in those. And, hopefully after this movie, people who've been, shitting on him as an actor can start to quiet down, because he just knocks it out of the park playing Batman. I thought it felt like pulled straight out of the comics, like Long Halloween. And I think just overall is probably the most comic accurate version of Batman that we've seen in live action. Also, his Bruce Wayne counterpart is a lot different from what we've seen in other movies. While in like the Chris Nolan movies, he's more of a playboy. In this, he's like super isolated from society, and he's a bit emo, I guess, for lack of a better word. And while I did think it was a good portrayal, I kind of wish we got a little more of it, because the movie is definitely very Batman focused and less interested in the Bruce Wayne side of things. And I guess I just hope that we get more of a exploration of Bruce Wayne in the sequels. But yeah, that's not to complain, because I thought Robert Pattinson just did a fantastic job all around. And some of the other characters too. We got James Gordon. I thought they did a good job with him. He definitely has a very, trusting relationship with Batman in this movie. And they're kind of just side by side as they're solving this mystery, which I really liked. We got Zoe Kravitz playing Catwoman. And, as far as Catwoman movie portrayals we've seen, I think this was definitely one of the better ones. I thought based on the trailers it might be a little too cartoony for my tastes, but I think in the context of the movie she did a really good job and everything about it worked really well. So yeah, we also got the Penguin played by Colin Farrell, covered in a whole lot of makeup. And not only is the makeup great, but I think Colin Farrell does a great job too. He's definitely, I guess, the most kind of over-the-top character in the movie, and he's provides some of the comedic relief, I guess. But at the same time, I think he also fit in this universe really well and never felt out of place. So yeah, really like this version of Penguin. Not quite sure if I like it more than Danny DeVito yet, but still is super solid. We got the main villain, Paul Dano, playing the Riddler, and he did a great job too. Definitely playing more of an unhinged psychopath in this movie, when we're probably more used to the more cartoony versions like Jim Carrey. Yeah, I think this different take was really well done. Definitely felt like a bit of a edgelord, but I guess in a good way. Oh yeah, we got Alfred, played by Andy Serkis. And while I did like this version of Alfred, I will say that he wasn't in the movie a whole lot. So another thing I hope the sequels can kind of flesh out is having a little bit more Alfred. I definitely would not be opposed to that. And we got Carmine Falcone, who's really good in this movie. I think just all the characters in this movie were really well handled and definitely felt faithful to how they were in the comics. And I wouldn't say there's really any weak link or anything, which I'm pretty happy to say. And also just Gotham in this movie. Holy cow, they do such a great job with Gotham. Definitely my favorite version of Gotham in any of the movies. It felt like super, gothic and had a really noir feel to it. And they definitely do a good job of showing that it's kind of a shithole of a city. Definitely not a place that you'd want to live. Yeah, I think they just nailed it from an aesthetic, atmospheric kind of standpoint. Really like Gotham in this movie. I guess I'll also address the runtime of this movie because it was kind of a point of concern for a lot of people, I guess, being 3 hours, that it might be too long. But I'm happy to say that I think I didn't really feel the length of the movie that much at all. Maybe a little towards the end, but for the most part, I think it kind of just flew by for me because I think I found the story to be, super engaging. And the story itself gave me a lot of, Seven and Zodiac kind of vibes. It's definitely more of a mystery, kind of noir type crime film than what we've got with other Batman movies. And yeah, I think it made this movie feel like a fresh take compared to what we've seen before. Another point of concern for people was the PG-13 rating, but I think they managed to, push the limits of it pretty well, kind of like The Dark Knight did. And, a lot of messed up stuff happens in this movie. Like, I honestly got some, Jigsaw vibes from Riddler at some points, which I definitely wasn't against. But yeah, I think to make this movie R-rated, you'd really just be adding more, blood splatters and F-bombs, which I don't think was super necessary. I think this movie being PG-13 never, detracted from it at all. So, oh yeah, one more thing I want to praise is Michael Giacchino's score. And I think between this and No Way Home, he's kind of proven to be, at the top of his game. He really just hit the nail on the head with giving us a great Batman score. And I think it'll definitely go on to be as iconic as Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer. Yeah, really, really good music in this movie, I thought. But I guess if I did have to critique the movie, and it's a pretty small critique, and also it's a bit of a spoiler, so in case you haven't seen the movie yet, just giving a heads up. But the scene near the end where they tease the Joker just didn't really land for me, I guess, for several reasons. I guess the first being that it kind of felt like it was meant to be a post-credit scene, but it was kind of just thrown in the middle of the ending, which I wasn't a huge fan of. It kind of just felt like sequel bait more than anything. But the biggest gripe for me is that I'm kind of a little worn out on Joker, I guess, because we've seen him in movies with so many different portrayals, some being great and some being, not so great, like Jared Leto. Hunka, hunka. Now, at this point, I think I'm ready to give the character a bit of a break and, have a chance to explore other Batman villains. Because Batman has a really big rogues gallery. And, villains like Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, I think, really deserve another chance to be pulled off well. Since we only really got them in Batman and Robin as far as live action movies go. So yeah, I was just a little disappointed because I'm kind of hoping the sequels focused more on some of the rest of his rogues gallery. But honestly, I have nothing against the actor they got for Joker. I thought he was great in Killing of a Sacred Deer, so I'm sure they'd do a good job with him, but it's just that I'm a little fatigued with Joker, I guess. But yeah, that's basically the only major kind of criticism I really have for this movie, because I think just in general, this movie just knocks everything out of the park. I think, all the characters they absolutely nailed, and just Gotham as a city and the setting, just really, really well done. Oh yeah, an obvious thing to praise is also just the cinematography, because this was a really, really good looking movie. It was super sleek and gritty looking. Definitely better than your average superhero movie. And the action too, yeah. All of the hand-to-hand fight scenes were really great. And the Batmobile car chase was really gripping and riveting. Just throwing out adjectives, I guess. But yeah, really like that car chase too. All the action was great. So yeah, I think I'd safely consider this one of the best Batman movies, and probably the best portrayal of Batman as a character. Just great acting, across the board. I think the mystery kept me engaged from start to finish, and Matt Reeves does a great job directing. So yeah, overall, I really, really like this movie. I think as far as a rating go, I'm leaning towards a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. Really, really good movie. So if you've seen it, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, just thanks for watching. Good night.